As our lovely Terry Real shares, your partner cannot fix you, and all trauma, it is relational, and intimacy is the core. And he's one of the awesome trauma therapists that I've learned from, and that I actually am taking a course to support people in relationships, whether polyamory or monogamy. It's still your own intimate relationship, and being secure in your own attachment is what will lead you to continuing to dance always the tango. And on that note, I am a 5D mystic and not a 4D, and we are beginning to take a look at the differences, because I have noticed we have another lovely wave of energies. I did know of this time, and I thought that there would be more 5D mystics out there, but I noticed that the groups are still talking about things with spiritual awakening alone, and not your human being who has an experience. So they use information and they don't make it relatable in a way of expansion. So I read to you in another video, but in case you don't watch it, this person who actually uses the wording of, did you know your survival nervous system, which is sympathetic, can block you from going deeper into a spiritual awakening. Now, that is where using the word block going to put you against your own nervous system. You're sympathetic. You need it. You need to create a relationship with it. And I'm laughing because I'm thinking, how do you create a negative with something that is yours and think it can become expanded? You can't expand something if you don't put your hand into it. Okay, so this is why when I see any of this, I love that they have a group of people that will go to them. I am a person who is in favor of empowering people to understand we may be woo-woo. It's okay. I'm A-okay with being woo-woo. I've never minded it. Don't do people a disservice, which is what I'm seeing when I go to these groups and people are talking about how tired they are and when is the ascension over and I'm thinking, okay, why are you not going to your doctor yet? I got it. You don't like medicine, but I don't like medicine. I still would be going to my doctor. Now, there's another thing though. I know about the nervous system because I'm trauma informed. So let's get into it. And as I spelled out, relational, as Terry spells out, and anybody will tell you, trauma begins from your basic nervous system and your first 7 months of life, your attachment system. We all have one. I mean, at least up till date, what they found out, the attachment researchers, the mental health professionals, the good ones, not the ones who are telling you your emotions are dumb. No, those people didn't understand semantics, or maybe it wasn't part of their curriculum. And so they don't know about the importance of the mind body and that you don't have them disconnected. And if you do, which people who didn't get the consistent contingent communication, their emotional body had to shut down. Their empathy body had to shut down. The nervous system is in sympathetic and dorsal vagal, and that's where the first step is to understanding you're not blocked. But if you have a dysregulated or modulated embodied self, you're going to want to consistently do good therapy, perhaps, for those who know they want it. And if not, then learn about your nervous system and don't talk about it as it blocking you. And anybody who tells you that a part of your human experience is blocking you from spiritual awakening, they don't even know what they're talking about. The word spiritual, and here, I'm going to give you my interpretation. Me, Maria, the 5D mystic here, because I've been following Sadhguru forever and ever. He's my spirituality dude. If I think of anything spiritual when it comes to angels, and Jesus is my man. But if I need to talk about spirituality, I talk about it with Sadhguru teaching me about yoga. If I talk about spiritual in the middle, then it's metaphysics, esotericism, it's all that woo-woo stuff. And if I talk about human elements, it's educators, the scientific methodology, not the ones who treat it like it's a law. No, dude, I'm not stupid. And my brain may fall out, but I ain't going to listen to some dickwad who's I know everything. You can't know everything because I don't know everything. And that's where the difference with the 5D love button is you may push me. I ain't going to look at you like you're superior or inferior. No, I'm straight at you. And you can just ask my lovely mother who taught me all about respect, how I have approached in general and why I get called the things I get sometimes. And I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is people who think because they have a gazillion degrees that you may come to me with a tone and tell me you know everything and then put people against each other. So let's make the world a better place for you and for me and for the entire human race. So when I see, this is my Kali, Stepana, Shiva, come in, Krishna Lila. When I see people who call themselves educators, doing this, I'm like, yeah, you're not an educator, because an educator knows how to do this and then this, and that's what an educator is for, unless you're whipping me. And anybody who wants whipping, this is the part. Anybody who wants rigidity, oh, lo and behold, the adaptive child emotional response. And what's behind an adaptive child? It's not a grown-up yet. It's a person who, in fact, is not a grown-up emotionally. They don't even have a relationship with their emotional body yet, and they don't even know why they feel disgusted or ashamed or a lot of other things, and they will notice something's off. The sad part is that if they're not intelligent ones and wander about themselves, oh, look, the lady over there said my survival mode is blocking me. I'm going to go do more yoga. I'm going to go do more meditation. I'm going to go and that's an option. You can spend 20 hours in the mountain, wherever you want. The other option is also going to people like Peter Levine, even though he doesn't take people anymore, but learning about trauma-informed stuff and actually bringing it down a notch and being like, okay, so back to spiritual awakening and spirituality and just you as a life, you aligning with your own physical, energy, mental body, your own holding values, your own heart body, the essence of life and all of that. You being Purusha Prakriti, you know what it is? It's the optimized human being brain. Integration of the brain, all hands on deck, default mode network down regulated. That means my social engagement system is on. That means I'm energized every day because I ain't in my survival mode. And then I'm going to get to talk to you. And when you're going to insult me, quote unquote, because you weaponize some words which you don't weaponize with a 5D mystic, because you know what a 5D mystic is? We're functional adults. So the minute that you're going to start using words with me is the minute that I'm going to be like, okay, due to the fact that you're not an actual medical professional in any way, shape, or form, I'm going to continue to disregard all of those name-calling things that you just used. Going to remain calm and collected and thank you for your time and move on with my life, because you are nobody as well as I. And if I really had some sort of issue, you better bet I'm pretty sure, somewhere else and not here chit-chatting with you. So the wit of a person who has true confidence is that you can speak out of your mouth all the words you want. I ain't going to be like, oh my God, they were so rude to me. No, you were a person. You know what I know about nasty is that there's trauma there, and there's a lot of people, oh, they're talking in your ear and they're telling you what to do. Codependent types, anyone? I've seen them all over the place. 4D mystics, go. So I don't mean to make it into any type of competition. However, the adaptive child behavior is really irritating, because when you get cocky, what we see are culty cults and traditional cults and people who want to come to us and say, oh, I'm going to talk about you as woo-woo. In the meantime, you're following somebody who's basically in love with themselves. You're putting them up on a pedestal, and I get to watch you tell me that I'm the fool and you're not. And I'm like, I really care about your well-interest, your well-being, and I can't do anything about it. And this is where we actually can, which is why I'm creating these differences. I don't actually like using labels, but I have noticed that there's a need to create a differentiating factor between 5D mystics and 4D, because the 5D talks about being human, or at least this is where I do. And your nervous system is not your enemy. You need your fight flight. We all need it. And by the way, it's automatic. So it ain't blocking you for something, because you are the spirituality process. Your name, use it. Neuroscience shows when we are in our flow, you're in selflessness, timelessness, effortlessness, richness. The effortless part is where fear comes in. You know where 4D's at every time this happens? And this is why Patrick McNamara's video is important on the nightmares. Because if you don't wake up energized more and more, then yes, there's something off, but it doesn't have anything to do with necessarily changing the outside. It has everything to do with self-regulation and learning to navigate. You have sympathetic, dorsal vagal, and then you have your social engagement. To get from sympathetic to your ventral vagal, yes, yoga helps. Mindfulness. Do you know why? It works your cortex, your third eye. It's called increasing your emotional intelligence about you, but it's also your nervous system. And dorsal vagal needs to get first to sympathetic and then to social engagement. And so there's a way that you can learn about how to navigate your body. You don't need to talk about spirituality, awakening, not awakening. So the shift, yes, it affects. Symptoms, yes, there are them. But take your human experience seriously. Infinite higher human consciousness, potential experiences, relationships are at the core. Come on over to my Zen Masters, functional adults, people who want to become emotionally mature and mentally mature and create beautiful tangos.